The Central Club.
What's going on, people? Welcome to the Central Club. This episode is brought by Re-Inspire Printing, All Time Out in Shilajit, and Weekend Defender. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the club, and hit the bell button to be notified of future content. Yes, make sure you subscribe to the club. We are on our road to 100,000 subscribers. I am blown away. I never ever thought that when I started this podcast, we would be saying that we are on our road to 100K. It's taken us 4 years, but I would have been happy to just stay on 10,000 subscribers for the rest of my life. I really didn't think that it was going to take off as well as it has. And it has. And now it's inspired me to go further. I want to take over the 100K. I want to go to 500,000 and then 1 million. And I think the road we are on now and the team we have around us, we are going to do that. So please, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to the Central Club and share it to your people, because there's so many people out there who are watching this podcast who are not subscribed. I look all the time. I think we have a big volume of returning numbers that do not subscribe. So please do, because it does make a difference to us and we won that silver plaque. Anyway, today is a little bit different. I'm going to talk about the amazing day I had in the ITV studios on Good Morning Britain. Yeah, I never thought in a million years that I'd be on Good Morning Britain. And look at the smile here, you know. A lot of you know, the Central Club, we're quite controversial. We do a lot of controversial topics. We ask things that other platforms and channels don't do. But that shouldn't take away the excitement, the privilege, and the sense of achievement I had when I walked through the mainstream ITV studios. It was amazing. What an experience. And I have to say, every single person there was amazing. Like, I thought, I'm going to see so-and-so. I'm going to see Lorraine Kelly. I'm going to see this person. I'm going to see Richard Madley. I bet they'd stuck up in there. And they really wasn't. They really wasn't. They were all amazing. So I'm just going to give you a run through of how this happened and then kind of reflect on the journey, because it needs to be appreciated, I think. So I was in here doing work on the studio on, I think it was Tuesday. And whilst I was in here, I got a comment on one of my Instagram posts saying, "Hi, Cullen, this is Rianne from Good Morning Britain. Please, can you give me your number?" And I was like, I wonder what this is about. But I actually did see there was something about shoplifting in the media as well. So I thought maybe it's to do with that. But could it be about, it could be about anything with me. You never know. It could be about something to do with the podcast. It could be to do with Bouvardal. It could be to do with shoplifting. Or something else I might have done that I didn't realise. So I asked what it was for, and it was about the shoplifting. It was about the record numbers of thefts, the record numbers of offences, and seeing as I've been labelled Britain's biggest shoplifter, and a new one now, the most prolific shoplifter in Britain, they obviously come to me. Now, I am very passionate about raising awareness on the subject, and of course, I'm gonna have haters. I'm gonna have people who appreciate what I do. To me, I'm on a personal journey, and I am righting my wrongs, you know? And when I first started this podcast and when I first went public with my story, that was my MO, because I do feel guilty for the things I've done. I do. If someone gets done for violence, if someone gets done for domestic abuse, if someone gets done for, or whatever it is, they should have some sort of rehabilitation and they should do some sort of restorative justice. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, in prison, I didn't get much of either. So I had to do that in the community. And part of my rehabilitation and part of my restorative justice is by giving back. Okay. I have done a lot of bad things in my life. Okay. And that is why I talk about this. And I feel like I'm righting my wrongs doing that. So they reached out to me because they wanted me to speak on it. And I was like, yeah, of course I would. Like, number one, I want to give back. I want to help. Um, and secondly, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I go to Good Morning Britain? I have a podcast. I have a platform. I am trying to grow that for the right reasons. So I'm going to go. So it was quite short notice, and they wanted me to stay over, but I had my friend's funeral. So I said to him, I will come early hours. Now, obviously, I live in Cardiff. London is down by the M4. It's about a 2.5 hour drive. And I actually had a little drink the night before at the funeral. So I have to say a big shout out to Benji Wild, for being the driver, for actually volunteering and saying, yeah, I'd love to come. Because who else wouldn't want to go to the GB studios? I learned later on that the only reason he wanted to do this was because he was hoping Susanna Reid was there.
I'm going to ask if Susanna Reid is here, because I'd really like to get a selfie with her. You would happen to know if Susanna Reid is here.
I think it's Kate Galloway. I don't think
She wasn't. I actually lied to him as well. I said, yes, Susanna Reid's on that day. He didn't know that. But we were on for 8:15, so we were there through most of it. We met every other guest who was on. Bumped into the gentleman off the Traitors. I met two rather fascinating former politicians. Jonathan Ashworth, a former Labour councillor, very nice guy to be fair, and Kwasi, he former Chancellor for the Conservatives, very funny guy. And you know, they wanted to start a conversation. They wanted to know why I was here. We were in the green room having proper banter with them. So much so that, you know, he was asking about my podcast, Kwasi was, and, you know, very, very interested. And Jonathan Ashworth, he actually invited me to Parliament in February. There's an event going on in February. So Jonathan Ashworth, the politician, his father was an alcoholic. And Jonathan's been a big part of setting up a charity for kids with alcoholic parents, you know, because his father was one. So I've been invited to Parliament next month, and I'm going to go. We might even take the camera, maybe. Well, who knows? But yeah, they were great. I also met another lady who is going to come on the podcast. She was on there to do with early prison release. Her husband, or ex-husband, sorry, abused her pretty bad. He was going to be involved in the early prison release scheme, and she fought and fought and fought, and thank God he's still in jail now. But one of the famous and probably my best moments in the green room was when Dr. Hilary approached me and sat down and took an interest in me and was asking me about my journey. Look who I'm with. Dr. Hilary, the legend.
Cheers. Good morning.
You know, before I could ask you, I was thinking, I want to get this guy on the podcast. Just because the guy is, people will be split with this, but he is a legend. He's a legend of TV. He has been on our TV screens for years and years and years, and he taught us about meningitis and measles and chickenpox. Anything in the morning before school, you would see Dr. Hilary. And I'd even see him on Lorraine, because I was that guy who was always late for school. So I'd be on the 9:30 till 10 o'clock, and then I'd go. So I'd always see Dr. Hilary, you know, and we spoke about that. We laughed because he said, yeah, but what if I'm on the rain? I said, yeah, I was always late for school. And he laughed. But obviously, during lockdown, he was labeled by some people Dr. Death, you know, because he was talking about getting your vaccines and, you know, this one's good for you and that one's good for you. And so before I even got to ask him, coming on the pod, would you come on my podcast? He said to me, do you mind if I take your number, and would you be interested in coming on my podcast? And I was like, Dr. Hilary wants me on his podcast. What? What's going on here? But it's because of my journey through addiction and the Buvidal injection that he really wants to talk about it. I spoke to him and told him how it's not heard about enough, and this should be accessible across the whole of the UK. And he was like really fascinated with that. And I wouldn't be surprised, I really wouldn't be surprised if we do that podcast and he'll probably invite me onto GMB or something to talk and promote about it, because it is a lifesaver. I am here now talking to you because of Buvidal. You know, it was that missing link for me that made me a normal person. you know? So I said to him, yeah, I'll come on as long as I can interview you. And he was like, yeah, no worries, let's do it. Happy days. So shout out to Hilary. You'll see him on the Central Club soon. Yeah, so then, I went into the makeup room, got my makeup done and all. The ladies in there were amazing, like really nice girls, So yeah, done the makeup and then I was ready to go on. And I was quite nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Like the studio was just by there the whole morning. And because I was like one of the last ones on, that's why it was so nerve-wracking, I think. So I go on there. It's the first time I see Kate Garraway and Richard Madley. And obviously it's like a break, or it's like, I think it's like the local news, so when it goes to your local news area. So I'm going in the studio then, and they're like, all right, well done. And then Kate's like, how do you pronounce your name? Is it Mace? And it's Cullen, yeah? And I'm like, yeah. And Richard goes, well done, mate. Like, proper, like, safe as fuck. Like, do you know what I mean? I've been on some where they're just like, they don't even speak to you. Like, they'll usher you in the studio, and then they're just like, and then they'll go, actually, they go, hey, come on. And you're like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's so weird and disingenuous. But obviously, that's either just the people they are or the profession, because they're so experienced and they know how to make someone feel comfortable. But I have genuinely been on a set where I get ushered in and they're like that. And actually, hey, how you doing, brother? It's like so fake, like, do you know what I mean? And they were really nice. And the interview took place. I felt like I done it justice. Of course, you're on live TV, and you're on a schedule, so you're only going to talk when they direct themselves at you. But I watched it back earlier, and it's funny. I always seem to do it, and I don't even mean to. Because there's so many cameras, you don't know where to look, and you end up finding out you're looking directly at the one. So when it goes like Colin Mason, and I'm like, it was so funny. But yeah. And then as we're in the middle of doing the interview, fucking Lorraine Kelly just rocks into the studio, and she spoke a little bit about the shoplifting and whatever, and I'm kind of like there just listening. And I've had some funny messages off people. And my old man sent me one. It was one of the boys. He said, what's happening, Pete? He's like, I'm at work. I'm in Norwich working away. I puts the TV on, look, getting ready with my breakfast. I see fucking Cullen Mace next to fucking Lorraine Kelly. What the fuck's going on here? But it was the way he said it. It was just brilliant. Even before I even went on air, like, I had about 15, 20 people tagging me and stuff, where obviously throughout the morning, they're saying, coming up, Cullen mate, you know what I mean? And they were playing my mugshot with the sideburns, which is just the most horrific picture ever. And then Richard Madley, in the middle of our interview, he said, whoa, yeah, we've just heard from our veteran shoplifter here. So I'm now a veteran shoplifter. That's the new label. Interesting fact about Richard Madley, actually. Did you know that he got done for shoplifting himself, stealing alcohol? It was him and his missus, I believe. But, Judy, that's Richard and Judy, innit? I just realized Richard and Judy, of course it is. Yeah, it must have been the time when they went a bit quiet, because they did go quiet. They were like the face of This Morning, weren't they? And then they done the Richard and Judy show, and then they kind of went quiet. And I think he was probably had a bit of a lull, bit of a dip, and just was on the alcohol and went raising, which I was wondering why he was really nice. It's obviously because he gets it, like he's been there. But when I left, like, they were just really nice, like, well done again, like, well done for being 4 years clean, and, good luck and all that. I can't fault it. Do you know what I mean? So I left, went back in, all the team out there and the other guests were saying, you absolutely smashed it, well done. We then went in for breakfast. Benji was just like, he's like a kid you got to keep on a leash, because you just don't know where he's going to turn up next. Like, he was actually getting shots of the studio before they even started. I was like, how the fuck did you get that? And I said, I want to get a shot with Richard Madley. He went, They said, it's too late, like, as they're at a meeting now, like, this is at the end of everything. Benji goes, yeah, I had one with him. I was like, oh, the fuck did you have one with him? He was in the studio the whole fucking time. He went, yeah, but he went a toilet one time and I pulled him quickly and he said, hurry up. So like, that's what Benji's like, do you know what I mean? Fucking terrible. So we went in for breakfast and they were like, get what you want. So Benji took 3 Red Bulls, 4 packs of chewing gum, a bacon sandwich, chocolate, and a coffee. So I done the same thing. It's OCD, innit? You got to do it twice. So we had our breakfast there. And then Lorraine Kelly and Hilary, obviously they were going off to do their show. And that's when Benji, again, couldn't help himself. Lorraine, all that. And then I stopped and I had a chat with Lorraine again about the shoplifting. And she was lovely, you know. We had a couple of photos, you know. So yeah, we had our chat and then we were on our way and, you know, it was just an amazing day all round. Yeah, and again, like, you know, that picture of me with the sideburns that was used on GMB and is used on many other news platforms I speak on. I've never seen so much beauty and positivity come out of such a negative, ugly, depressing, dark picture of the one of me looking like that. You know, it's, if I was still in that life, I would certainly, you know, hate it even more. I would, you know, if anyone showed me it, I'd find it as an offense, you know. There was times when I was still on drugs that photo would get paraded, like a Cullen Mace, look at him, he's wanted, and I'd hate it, you know. But now, if anyone shares that photo, I'm proud. I am proud. Benji done a vlog and of the day, of course he did. And on one of the comments, it was off a known troll, let's say, of Benji and me since the Jay Slater video. And she just put, oh my God, oh my gosh, you must be so proud of doing this. As if like, you know, I'm on there for shoplifting. Like, you know, it's not like I'm on there for being an athlete. I'm not on there for saving someone out of a fire. Well, she will never understand how proud I am, and that's fine, you know. But what she doesn't realize is I am saving lives. I am genuinely helping people with that photo, because when you stick the image of me now, you don't even have to explain anything, you know. It's there. You can see that image of the before and after is the story of hope, is the story of change. I'm proud. I am proud of it. People talk about years being, this is going to be my year. This is my year 100%. I like that motivational kind of mindset, but as well, it's kind of bullshit, you know. Last year there was some great moments, but there was also some very fucking dark moments. And I had that mindset coming into this year because I just wanted to see the back end of last year. But the first 2-3 weeks of January has been really fucking hard for me. Really hard. But again, you know, this week, although there's been some tough moments, I've had some great moments. And I'm very excited to see what this year brings. But we should never, ever. I am all for manifesting, you know, I believe in manifestation. But we should never just brace ourselves for positivity. We always should have in the back of our minds that shit can go west anytime soon. The same way I used to look at going to court and I'd expect the worst. And if I didn't get the worst, it was a bonus, you know? But I am excited for what we got going on. You know, leaving Good Morning Britain, I felt a sense of achievement. The fact that I was able to be invited on such a mainstream platform, it is a good look, you know. The Central Club has been in the weeds, let's say, from time to time, and I'm sure we will be in the weeds again. But as long as I can separate Cullen Mace, you know, and people understand that Cullen Mace and my journey is separate to Central Club in terms of who we platform. Would like to think that I would always be invited to places like Good Morning Britain and other mainstream media platforms, because although again I have my viewpoints, my negative viewpoints on some mainstream stuff, there is not a better platform to push out to the masses a positive message. So I'm excited for that. I'm also excited for what we have got going on at the Central Club. There's so much going on. Like I said earlier, we are on the road to 100K, and we're only going to push that and amp that if we push out more content and bring more people into the frame. I started with 3 boys. After a year, it went down to me, and it's been me all this time. But since late last year, I've managed to come across some amazing people who have been willing to want to get involved, and I'm looking at some now. You know, in the background, we've got Reese, we've got Dan, we've got H still, we've got some other people as well, and I'm really looking forward to what we've got in the pipeline. We've got documentaries. We got 2 documentaries going out. We've got a new channel that we're going to be releasing very soon, a football channel, a sports channel. And also, we've got the studio that is going to be a place to rent for people to use, people who can film a podcast, they can learn how to do a podcast, and there's so much. So I'm really excited to see, you know, what 2025 holds for the Central Club. I am feeling positive about it, of course, but yeah, well, let's just see what happens. So I want to kind of end it on this, you know. I look at some of the platforms and they would be lucky taking off. They take off, you know. And people have always said to me, "Don't worry, you're gonna get that one video. Just gonna take that one, and you're gonna be like that." It's not like that. Well, it isn't like that for Central Club anyway. Our platform has not been built off viral moments, although we have had viral moments. We have. And those people who say, "Oh, I watch your podcast. I remember that thing with Tommy and Diablo." It almost, I almost get angry, because we are more than that, you know? And what it shows is they're not actually real followers, because they've just took the time out to watch that one viral thing. And like, you know, that is part of us, and, you know, I will cherish it. But we are built on longevity. We're not always doing the controversial shit in that way. We're wanting to get, you know, powerful stories and try and destigmatize people. But, you know, I think when we get to 100K, I truly do believe the snowball will be in effect then, where we will grow quicker. And I know for a fact with the team we got behind us as well, we're going to grow quicker. You know, we've had a lot of transitions, and there's been times where we've been homeless, like literally no studio. That was tough. 2024, late 2023, 2024 was hard, very hard for us. We did not have a place, and we were filming wherever we could. You know, this place has been a blessing, and other people around us has been a blessing. You know, and I promise that we're gonna bring so much. It gets frustrating sometimes, you know, where one week we might only get a couple of views. We've just got to make sure that our viewers and the people who watch us know that we're going to be back with consistency and quality. So saying that, I want to say thank you to everyone who has stuck through thick and thin. Those ones who have waited for us and have watched every video and have, you know, subscribed and liked and commented and engaged. Like, thank you so much, because without you, we probably would have abandoned ship, you know? But we want to be bigger than that. We want to put Wales on the map for the right reasons. And we want the Central Club to be the biggest podcast in the UK. And for that, I need to admit when I do wrong, I need to improve, and I need to bring other people in, which is what we're doing. So make sure you like, you comment, please subscribe if you haven't, share the podcast, get the trend on the go, roll to 100K. Let's get it. And until next time, stay central.
The Central Club.